Math session today. So this is metric and imperial, converting between the two with Mr. D. Okay, this is a really useful skill to know. It's a really useful skill to have in your toolbox, particularly when you're older and you may have to deal with things like this. Okay, so straight away, let's concentrate on our key vocabulary that you might see this week. All right. First things first, the word converting between units. So swapping from one to the other that are equal. The word unit, so units is what we're measuring in, so that might be centimetres, metres, and all those sorts of measurements. Metric and imperial, now some people call these the new and the old. Now yes, the metric system is newer, but some countries, particularly people like them in America, they still use the imperial system. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? Next one is equal to or equivalent to, so those words may appear this week. We've then got division and multiplied, and I've purposely put division because it's the division facts you'll need to know, and then the word inverse, so the opposite way around. The word opposite is going to come in really helpful this week. Now, straight away looking at this, I'm going to use some rough figures, okay, and this just makes it a little bit easier. So 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometres. We should already know that km stands for kilometres. The opposite way around is, okay, that is, when I convert it, is 8 kilometres equals or is equal to 5 miles. Okay, so it's the other way around. Now we'll also be doing a little bit of work on inches and centimetres, which you'll spot on your rulers. And 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres. Like I said before, really good life skills going to be coming out this week. Okay, let's take a look at some of the questions. So my first one here is asking me to convert between miles and kilometres. And you might think, why do I need to know this? Well, you might have been training for a running race, but you've been training and they tell you the race is 9 miles. All of your training that you might have been recording might have been in kilometres, and you want to know whether I can run it or not. So I might have been able to run 15 kilometres, and I want to know if that's far enough to be able to complete a 9-mile race. Okay, so looking at the facts that we've got here, I've just copied them across, and you might want to put this in your book too to help you. It says that 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometres. Now we've got 9 miles, so that means I need to do 9 times by 1.6. Now I would partition this number into 9 times by 1 and 9 times 0.6. Makes it much easier to calculate. Okay, 9 times 1 is 9, and I'd put a decimal and a 0 because I think we're going to create a decimal here. Okay, if there was no decimal in there, we'd say that 9 times 6 is 54, but we know this is 10 times smaller, so it must be 5.4. Okay, simple bit of column addition. Because I've set it out neatly in my neat columns, 0 and 4 is 4. Pop my decimal point in, one nice neat line. 9 and 5 make 4, and we carry the 1. So the answer, which goes right back at the top, was 14.4 kilometres. Okay, could I race it when I did 15 kilometres? Yes, I can. Okay, now this one, we're going to swap from kilometres back into miles. All right. So if I had to do this one here to convert this way, I had to times it. So to work out how to get into miles, what do you think we might need to do? Take a second, just have a little think. Okay, hopefully you've worked out we need to divide it. Okay, so I've got my 32 kilometres and I'm going to divide that by 1.6. Now I'm going to give you a clue today. All the numbers will divide quite nicely. Hopefully here, if I was to make this 10 times smaller, you would spot how many times 16 went into 32. But we know this is 10 times smaller, and that should help you. This is the way I would do it, okay? What I would do here is the 2 different ways I would do it. The first way I would do it is exactly what I've just showed you. Well, I know that 16 goes into 32 twice, but this is 10 times smaller because I've got a decimal point in, so it goes into it 20 times. Okay. Another way you could do it, okay, is you could work out, you could multiply back up is another way you could do it, or you could do that 1.6 times 10 equals 16, And if I do 16 times 2, I get to 32. And if you times those two numbers together, you get 20. Whichever way works for you, I prefer this method. All right. So it was 20 miles. Now, I've picked a nice easy one to start here, okay? I want to go from inches into centimetres, okay? Now, straight away, you should be thinking this number is going to be bigger than this one because there's more centimetres in an inch than there is in a centimetres, all right? So I know that 1 inch is 2.5 centimetres, and I've got 10 of them. So if I've got 10 of them, I need to times this by 10, and straight away we know, remember, we don't move this decimal point, he stays where it is, it gets 10 times bigger. So everything's going to move one place to the left because we're timesing by 10. So we're going to leave the decimal point there. The 2 is going to jump from the units column to the tens column, and the 5 is going to jump over our decimal point and sit in the units column. And if you want to put a placeholder, you can, or you can simply get rid of the 0 and the decimal, giving us the answer of 25. Go and have a go at these today. I suggest you write these down at the top of your book so you don't have to keep looking back at the video. Go and have a really good try and see if you can convert between metric and imperial.